Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by ABC Quality and the South Carolina Department of Social Services. Hey guys, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. I'm back talking about ABC Quality and its impact on childcare here in South Carolina. And today I have two special guests. I have Conley Ann Ragley and Blakely Roof. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, thanks for having us on today.
Absolutely. Let's first start by telling everybody who you are and what you guys both do.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm Blakely Roof. I'm here with United Way of Horry County. I'm the president and CEO.
Yep. And I'm Conley Ann Ragley. I am the Chief External Affairs Officer for the South Carolina Department of Social Services, which is the state agency that regulates and promotes child care in South Carolina.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today, how child care impacts the economy too on South Carolina. So tell me what our viewers need to know about that.
Sure, so I know that's something that sometimes people don't think that child care impacts the economy, but if you're a parent or you employ a parent and they don't have reliable, affordable, and accessible childcare, they may not be able to come in and work and provide the services and things that you need as a business owner or their manager to serve your customers or your clients. And so we are trying to get people to realize that the childcare industry and the support of the childcare industry is everyone's business in South Carolina, because it does have a huge economic impact, not only in our businesses, but our quality of life in South Carolina.
Definitely. And Blakely, you know, there are families that are maybe trying to work, but they can't work because they don't have access to help to childcare.
Yeah, and with, not just the accessibility, but, the hours of certain child care centers, if you're working like in the hospitality industry, and a lot of times we'll hear from families that both parents want to work and they just aren't able because it just doesn't make sense financially to put a child in child care when it's going to cost more than what they make.
Yeah, so what is the United Way here in Horry County doing about that problem?
So the first piece is really the advocacy and letting people understand that. When we talk about one of our main priorities is early education, they're like, oh, well, I don't have kids, I'm not worried about that. But kind of going back, it really does make, it affects everybody. And the other piece is, when children are in quality childcare, they're learning those skills and tools that they need as they enter into kindergarten. And unfortunately here in South Carolina, our entering into kindergarten through the kindergarten readiness assessment isn't that great. And sometimes people say, oh, well, ready for kindergarten, I have my backpack and shoes, but it's so much more than that. And if you don't know, you don't know. And so we want to give parents the tools that they can work with their children to have them best prepared when they enter school.
Definitely. And Conley Ann, you obviously deal with this on a daily basis. What are you guys doing to help out with the problem as well?
Right, so as the regulatory agency, we're charged with health and safety of regulating child care centers, not just for the children that attend these centers, but also for the adults and the staff. But it goes so much further than that. So through our ABC Quality program, this provides technical assistance and training for those providers that want to enroll. It's a voluntary program that they enroll in. And remember too that if you go to a child care center and you see an A, B, or a C on the door, it is not like a restaurant inspection where you see a B or a C and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to eat there. These centers that are enrolled in ABC Quality are going above and beyond meeting the state minimum standards for health and safety. So if you see a B or a C on that door, they're exceeding the requirements that are set out for the state for health and safety. So of course we have tons of resources, dss.sc.gov. Our Child Care Resource and Referral Network that we fund in partnership with the University of South Carolina can help employers have lots of resources and really just trying to bring folks together in all aspects of our communities, whether it is social services, health, the business community. That's kind of our job here, and what we seek to do is really to get everyone on the same page and to understand that, yes, even if you don't have children, childcare impacts you whether you realize it or not.
It definitely does. Thank you both. I really appreciate it. And guys, you can always learn more information about ABC Quality at www.abcquality.org. This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by ABC Quality and the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
This segment is sponsored by AMR Clinical. Hey guys, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. Today I have a topic that I have never talked about on Living Local before. We're talking about HS, and I'm joined by Dr. Coakley and Mr. Brown. Can you guys kind of tell everybody what you do and why you're here today?
Yeah, thanks for chatting with us this morning. So, board certified dermatologist and principal investigator for clinical trials for HS, or hidradenitis suppurativa. It's a lot easier to say HS. Here at Waccamaw, we take care of people with this previously kind of poorly understood disease, where people get tender spots in their armpits, their groin, and it's really disruptive to daily life. And so we've got treatments for it now, but we're here today to talk a little bit about clinical trials and research, because we're trying to stay on the cutting edge of medicine and offer new therapies to people that have been struggling for a little while with it.
And Mr. Brown, you are a patient that has HS.
Right, I'm a patient advocate for HS.
Okay.
So I've been dealing with it now for about 20 years. When it first started for me, there wasn't really much help out there. You could go from dermatologist to dermatologist and be told, we can't help you, it's only gonna get worse, different things like that. For me, it began in my scalp, underarms, and then groin, places that people don't really like talking about or anything like that. So today, hopefully we can raise some awareness about it.
Well, tell me about some of the ways that it can be treated.
That's a great question. So, early on, it depends on the severity of the disease. So typically we start with topical antibiotics, oral antibiotics for early stage disease. And as it progresses, we typically use what we call biologics, which can be injectable medications that work to change the immune system. And they're not necessarily immunosuppressants, but they modify the immune response to try and get rid of the inflammation that causes these tender boils in the armpits and chest, groin, all over.
Gotcha. I mean, you are an advocate for this. What has it been like being able to talk to people about it?
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to see people's stories and try to keep them from going kind of down the same rabbit hole that I went down. You're already dealing with not being able to find the help that you need. When you go to a clinical trial, you're going to get the care that you need. You're going to be surrounded by doctors and medical professionals that understand your disease. So you're already running around trying to figure out, who can help me. They understand. They haven't just seen a YouTube video, they understand and have worked with other people that have HS. If you are lacking in insurance or you're worried about your insurance, if your co-pays to see a specialist are extraordinarily high, you don't have to worry about that in a clinical trial. The other thing, you're gonna help millions of people. You're gonna help so many people that you'll never see their faces. They will never have to go through the pain that you're going through as well. And obviously it's a clinical trial, so you will be compensated, and it is a commitment. It's not something where you're gonna show up once, twice, 3 times. You're gonna have to be committed to the process, and you're gonna help so many people. My experience was largely positive and would do it again.
All right, that's always good to hear. Well, if somebody's watching right now, they want to be a part of the trial, how can they do that?
Right now, as Mr. Brown mentioned, we're looking for patients that are suffering from HS, that aren't adequately treated, that have moderate to severe disease. That's impacting their daily lives. And we've partnered with Sanofi, who's sponsoring a clinical trial to try a new medication. So if you're interested in enrolling in the study for hidradenitis suppurativa, or HS, you can go to amrclinical.com. As Mr. Brown mentioned, it is a commitment, because if we're studying a new medication, we want to be very methodical and very thorough. And so there's certain visits to follow up. We're going to track symptoms. Of course, that's a time commitment from the patient. And so for this study, there's roughly $4,000 in compensation that's available to patients that are enrolling, because it is a big commitment of their time. In a trial format, it's a little bit different than seeing your doctor and then coming back 2 months later for a check-in, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to want to start a medication, and we're going to want to watch you a lot more closely for safety reasons, for efficacy, to see how the symptoms improve. But we're enrolling currently at our Waccamaw Dermatology location at South Strand Medical Center. And you can find more details at, again, amrclinical.com.
This segment is sponsored by AMR Clinical. Welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I am with Emily at Litchfield Pickleball, and if you're watching this right now, that means that I didn't sprain my ankle today. How are you doing, Emily?
Good, Katie. How are you?
I'm so excited to learn about you guys. I've never ever played pickleball before.
Oh, it's so much fun. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Tell me your story.
All right. So my husband and I bought this property in 2020 during COVID. We basically didn't have a place to play during COVID, and we said let's find some pickleball in the area. So Chris is actually the tennis pro here about 30 years ago when it was a tennis club. So we bought it, converted it to pickleball, and that's been over 5 years ago now. So
I think my first question would be, what are the differences between tennis and pickleball?
So big differences between tennis and pickleball. Obviously, it's a smaller court. Pickleball is only played on hard court, whereas a lot of tennis is played on a clay court as well. Mainly doubles, although there is some singles. And then the other general differences, I would say, it's a quicker game. There's a lot more starting and stopping, even though it's a smaller court. It's a quicker game. It's a lot of dynamic play, so it's just a lot more fun. It's a social game. So, yeah, we really enjoy it for that reason. We both came from tennis and left tennis for pickleball. Really enjoy it. So
Okay.
Fun for all ages, all athletic abilities.
I was going to say you guys teach a lot of people how to play
do.
pickleball.
We do. So we have about 500 regular players out here, and I would say about 50% of the people that play out here we actually taught to play pickleball in 2020, 2021. So it's been a huge success, huge draw for Pulse Island area. So really starting to grow.
Love it. Okay, if somebody's watching this right now and they want to come try pickleball,
Yep.
how can they do that?
So the first thing they can do is they can go to our website, litchfieldpickle.com, or just Google us, Litchfield Pickleball in Pawleys Island. There's lots of information on the website, tells you how to set up an online account. Everything we do is online, reservations, payments, bookings, everything's online. So they would just set up an account with us, look for an intro class on the calendar, and pay and just show up. We have all the equipment, we have instructors on staff, so it's kind of a plug and play situation. You just show up and we'll get you going. So.
Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. If you're looking for something to do this holiday season and you love music, well, don't I have a treat for you today? I'm joined by Dedrick. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I want to know a little bit more about the auditorium itself. You said it's a historic auditorium.
Well, the building, built 1908, it was a part of the original Winyah High School in Georgetown. That high school burned, and subsequently, well, it was already in place, a plan to create Georgetown, which was a merger of Howard High School and Winyah. There were some folk who were from town, led by Miss Cribb, who was a secretary at Winyah High School, and a band of folk got together to save the auditorium, turned it into a nonprofit, and all these years later, we are now putting on live musical performances and open as a hub to the community.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
And people can enjoy it for years to come,
People
too.
can enjoy it. We work to preserve the building, number one, and then to bring live musical performances that can foster cultural arts in our community.
Cool. Anything in store that you can tell me about 2024?
We're planning a great 2024, but what
Okay.
you can do is stay up with us on all of our social media platforms,
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, and check our website, winyahauditorium.org.
Perfect. Is there anything else that I need to know?
Well, we would like for as many people that is able to attend our shows. And as I tell the folk that do attend, probably one of the best things you can do is talk up your experience at the Winyah Auditorium so that it can get other people involved. Music heals the soul, it touches the soul. So we offer something for everyone, and we hope that everyone can come and enjoy what they get.
Doesn't get better than that.
I hope not. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I love being in the studio, especially when I get to talk to authors. And I'm joined by Desiree Middleton. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Awesome.
Why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers your style of writing?
So I've recently developed a new style of writing. I'm into urban fiction novels now. I just released my second back in November of 2023, and it is a series called Married to the Enemy. It's very exciting. It gives me so much excitement because I'm able to allow my imagination to just take over and run wild. And so those two books are very much full of plot twists, full of a lot of murder mystery if you're into that. Full of all of the things that you would probably see in a Tubi movie.
I love it. You're actually the first author that I've had in here that writes that sort of mystery genre, so that's really interesting. Have you always been interested in this since you were a kid? I mean, you published your first book in 2019, right?
Yes, so I published my first book in 2019, and it's called Finding the Beauty in Ugly Situations. And it's more so about my life, about myself, things that I had gone through and how I still remained positive and was able to overcome those things. And then after I wrote that book, I'm like, well, there's not much else I can write about myself.
Not yet.
And so I was like, I still wanted to write, I still wanted to release books, but I was like, what else can I write about? And I started following this author named Ashley Antoinette. And she writes these books, these like urban fiction books, and I read like 3 of her series in like a month. And I was like, wait a minute, I really, really like this. Like, I can create some characters like this. And so I sat down one day and I started doing it, and it was just coming just like that. And I think the best part about it is that you can make up people. You can make your characters do what you want them to do, how you want them to do it, whatever direction you want them to go. Like, my imagination just takes over.
Oh, I love it so much. So when you talk about twists, can you give me an example, or is that giving too much away?
No, yeah, I can absolutely give you an example. So the crazy thing about the first book that I wrote, urban fiction that I wrote, Married to the Enemy, when I wrote that book, I was going through a divorce myself. Oh. So many people were interested in the book because they thought it was a tell-all about my marriage. So eyes were on it before the book was even completed. And so when I first released it, the book sold about 250 copies within the first 2 weeks. And that was a goal for me, one that I didn't think I was going to achieve, because I was like, wow. And it was because, everybody wanted to know, what is she going to talk about in this book? And then I think when they actually read it and realized it had nothing to do with me or my marriage, it was more like, oh, wait a minute, but it's still a good book. So one of the plot twists in the book, the series, in the first book, Melody is the main character. She's a young lawyer who is trying to find herself and trying to find her way. She meets a man, she falls in love, gets married. But in the second book, we find that Melody's perfect husband might just be the enemy.
We'll leave it at that, folks. But you are now working on another book with your daughters.
Yes.
Where can people stay updated on this sort of thing?
So I am on all social media. I am on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all under @AuthorD. And then I also have my website, which is www.authordesiree.com. And I pretty much post every day, literally, on all sites. So I'm pretty active on social media. So I normally try to keep people updated as to what I have going on through my social media sites. I actually just launched my online bookstore. And so, of course, I'm going to be selling my books through the bookstore, but I'm also going to be including other authors' pieces and works through the bookstore as well.
All right, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, if you want to check out some of her books, where's that website that people can find again?
It's www.authordesiree.com.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.